Howdy folks, Prep Rebel here. Alright, so garden tour and trellises. We're going to start in the greenhouse here. I've repotted a bunch of my peppers and they're coming along pretty well. I have 5 rows, or 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of peppers. And these ones were all grown from seed. Now they're in an 8-inch pot, except for these 5 up here, and when I get to it, then those will be moved out into the beds outside. So this is my one tomato plant, and as you can see, it's got a number of different fruits on it. It's coming along pretty good, and there's a lot of fruit. That is borage. The red is red amaranth, and then you've got nasturtiums. This one here is a tomatillo, another tomato plant, and you can see lots more fruit in here, although there's some that are coming along a lot more. In back you'll see some other plants and some cilantro and herbs in there. Lots of amaranth, both red leaf and red amaranth is starting to bud. The borage has been starting to flower now. And then I've got some dill. Or it's partially grown there. The dill is here, and I've let it go to seed because it helps to keep some of the bugs out. And I've got flowers growing, and those are from the nasturtiums. I've also got collards in here, and that's right here. These are collards. And that's the first time I've ever grown them. And then my other tomato plant in here, and interspersed in all of this, this here down here is borage as well. And this is one that's not quite taken up too much, but this tomato plant is also going gangbusters. Alright, and I've rearranged the deck. My strawberries are starting to produce. This plant's given me about 10 strawberries so far. My vermiculture for worms, and then out onto the deck. So these ones were in the greenhouse. That's my sage and French thyme. These are ruby ring onions, and I've got 6 pots of them that I'm trying to rescue. Echinacea growing down here. My raspberry plant that I rescued, along with 2 other strawberry plants that survived. And then these are my Yukon Golds. Now these all used to be in the center over here, but I needed a pathway around so that I could get to these strawberries and my beans, which are starting to come up. Now if you take a look, I've got hoops there, plus I've got a metal stake trellis, and it's in a teepee form on here on this one. And then my elderberry. This is the 2nd year for it. It started off about a foot high, now it's about 3 feet high. And my early girl tomatoes, that's a new plant. And then I've got another tomato plant going over here, some basil. I've got peppers, green peppers starting here, and my marigolds are starting. I've got parsley in pots, mint in pots, and this is like the companion gardening type of thing. So this plant here, this tomato plant, is starting to produce, and it's got some fruits in there. And now these are my squash plants, some more basil in the back, and some thyme, and that's oregano, sorry. Now I've harvested, out of these 2 beds alone, I've harvested probably 5 pounds of radishes, and I've got more planted. And in the purple and white is alyssum, another nasturtium plant. This is what bee balm looks like when it's growing, and it's gone pretty crazy. This is another new cucumber plant that I planted the other day. My broccoli, and I've got a cauliflower coming. My cabbages are starting to come along, but they're getting ravished a little bit. My broccoli's bolted, but I let them bolt, these ones, because I wanted to try and keep the caterpillar worms away. And unfortunately, they like to chew on everything. So I've got a beer trap down there, and then I've got my lettuces here and in the back, and I've harvested a number of times from that, and it's just leaf lettuce. My Brussels sprouts, more alyssum, another ruby ring. Now this is the bed where I harvested all of my garlic out of, and I didn't do too bad. I got about 6 good sized bulbs, and that is looking pretty good. This is Italian oregano, and then along the front is the yarrow, white and purple yarrow, and then I've got some chives in there. I also harvested all the onions out of here, the scallions. And this is horseradish that I've trimmed down. Now here, bay leaves from a bay laurel tree that will be a tree, and then my lavender that's not doing all that great this year. On this side, I've got my comfrey. My sunflowers are starting in those two. I've got fennel coming along, poppies coming along, dill coming along, as well as sage and marjoram starting. And then this is my russets back here. The ones up front were my Yukon Golds, and I've already harvested my red potatoes, the Norlands and the Pontiacs. I'm starting to get peas from here. This is the bed where I harvested out the red potatoes. So I've got 3 more pots here. Now I'm going to pan back, and you can see one set of trellises that I use. All right, these are those T-posts. So I've got 2 set up one way and 1 set up another way in a V. And when I'm using that, I reinforce that on the sides so that it looks like it's all joined together. And behind the tank, I have cattle panels that I use also for trellis. And the other trellis system that I have is 2x4s with boat hooks and metal stakes, right? And I've got them all tied, and they're all screwed into the tops of the beds or the sides of the beds. And it's just 2x4s. You can see right here. Look at it. Right? All the way along here. And the reason for the different gaps is because I've got 3 4x3 beds and 1 6x3 bed. So again, it's just what it is. And if you look here, right, so the 2x4 bent there, and then this board is both into the top of the greenhouse, or the top of the garden bed, and into that side board, and then along here at the front of this first bed. And that is my trellis systems. I hope this gives you some ideas on what you can do. There are a number of different ways. What you can do with these, the way I've got it set up, is you can actually run string or wire so that you can run your tomatoes or any vining plant up. And that way you keep the leaves off the ground, you're able to prune better, you get more fruit, and you get a better harvest. Okay, so I hope this helps you, and we'll talk to you soon. Prep Rebel out.